Still trying to throw the ball. On first and goal, second and goal. Panicking at third. Fourth, I'm wishing for a muff.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle. We here with D Lane. How you doing today?
Feeling great, Zay. How you doing, baby?
Feeling good, man. I'm ready to talk about this last dance.
Ah, man. Crazy. Go ahead. You can kick us off.
All right, let's get it going. We got we had 4 weekends of 10 episodes.
Five. Yeah, five.
Five weekends of 10 episodes. For me, this is one of the best documentaries I ever watched, just because of the behind the scenes footage. And I think this is the first. I'm just talking big picture. This is the first doc. I feel like of the new age where we're gonna have so much film, and it just got me excited for the upcoming documentaries we're gonna have. Just because of technology and all the film that's available. Now, to actually what the doc was about, I feel like 2 things that stuck out to me from this whole thing is, one, how obsessed MJ is with winning and how competitive he is. Like I feel like there's very few people in life that have that competitiveness, and people that do are the most successful. And then I cannot get over Scotty from this whole documentary. I know I don't like to get at people's character in a way, but he's a bitch. I think that's the best way to say it. I don't respect no man that quits on his team. Quits on his team. I don't respect any man for that. Second, I don't know. It just seems, if you just take a step back, it could be just how MJ views Scotty, but it's him complaining for 10 episodes. He's the money is that I didn't want to do this.
The injury, yeah.
The injuries, I don't feel good. I don't know. From the Scotty just was like, wow. It almost seems like you tell Scotty's a beta male, and without MJ, they wouldn't win a ring. They would just been one of those good teams. You know what I mean? Playoffs every year, but no ring. But let's get your feedback, Dylan.
Yeah. Overall, from the doc, I told you my overall feeling from it was the way Jordan motivated people. It just shows you that winning is not for everybody. And he said it on one of the episodes, 7 or 8, that maybe my way is not the way that you will want to follow. Because I'm gonna pull you, I'm gonna push you. People that don't want to be pushed and pulled, you're gonna get pushed and pulled. I'm really the man who looks the worst throughout the pod, besides the owner Jerry Reinsdorf and Krause, the GM Jerry Krause, for breaking it up. I really gotta say it's Scotty. You touched it already, but all these years growing up, I always heard, that was his Robin. Mike couldn't have done it without Scotty. And I agree. He definitely needed another, just a sidekick. He needed somebody. I think he could have got it done with any other type of superstar, though, because after watching the doc, you'll just see the way Mike really pulled Scotty. Like, you wouldn't see the bullying or the antics, as far as Mike getting on him like he did versus Scott Burrell and the other guys, because of course Scotty's more talented, but you could tell Scotty wasn't honing in and finding his craft. Like, he missed 2 free throws in the last, and was that the Jazz finals last night or 2 nights ago in the finale when he missed the 2 big free throws. He checked himself out of a playoff game when Mike wasn't there in 95. He gets the migraine in, I want to say 89, 90, 91. One of those years they play the bad boy Pistons in the game 7 to get to the finals. So it was multiple instances throughout the pod where you could just tell Mike really carried Scotty, man. And I'm not trying to bash Scotty as far as he's not a good player. I think he was a good number 2, not great. I think he was a good number 2. But after watching this doc, I'm really surprised that Scotty's a top 50 player all time. I just can't see it, man. I can't see it no more. Now that I've seen the inside workings of how Jordan really pushed him and motivated him to get better and pulled him along, dragged him like he dragged the rest of them dudes on the team. The team wasn't stacked at all, man. When I was watching 2 nights ago, the last episodes, I want to say episode 10, when Jalen Rose was breaking down that Pacers team, the Pistons team was loaded. That they were definitely tough. It was the Pacers and the Pistons. I don't think the Knicks was that tough for the Bulls. I think the Pacers and the the Bulls were the two toughest, or Pistons was the two toughest competitions for the Bulls. But that Pacers team, they had squad. Jay Rose, Mark Jackson, Chris Mullin, Reg. They kept making it seem like it was just Reggie with a few guys. Nah, Reggie had squad, bro. You feel me? Reggie had a squad. And if you think about them Bulls team, it was just top heavy as hell.
It's crazy to your point of, would you describe Scotty as like, for me, like for instance, like James Harden, he's a really good player, but he doesn't have that dog, right? And to me, you have good players that don't have a dog, right? For instance, when it's all said and done, people are gonna say, hey, James Harden is a way better player than Dame Lillard, but Dame Lillard has way more dog in him. That's the reason the playoffs he's eliminated twice. So I look at Scotty now as one of those, hey, he's a really good player, zero dog in him, zero dog. He's not. I don't want to. Now again, I can't say I don't want to go to war with him. He won 6 chips, so he was good enough to do that. Obviously led by Michael, and I think Michael probably had to push out that dog all the time. Like that was his project, right? Like I had to make sure Pippen got that dog out.
And we both
So
agree
how,
that we both agree on checking yourself out. What was that last shot 2 episodes ago? That last shot that Kukoc really saved his legacy in my, I think, not
he
like
wouldn't be on the team.
his whole legacy, but he saved a small part of it. As far as that could have looked real bad for Scotty if Kukoc didn't make that shot. That was another takeaway for the throughout the doc for me too, Zay. That I peeped that Kukoc helped in a little more than what they thought. As far as offensive wise, like he couldn't play no defense. He was barbecue chicken. Whenever I seen my brother say that, JP, he was like Kukoc was barbecue chicken whenever he got switched on to somebody on defense. But he definitely did his fair share on that last 3P run and made a few key buckets on the offense end.
No, definitely. What do you think of ESPN versus Bron little thing? How they just blew Bron out the water? Nothing was close. Nothing. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I just find it funny how the media works because if if LeBron was playing right now on the court, dunking the ball, making the Lakers a bunch of money, I don't think they would have attacked him like that. It's just because he's sitting down right now. Because I feel like that was almost an assassination on his character. The way they came at him like that in that little segment. Did that air? I didn't see it. I didn't see it live. I seen it on Twitter. But did that air right after the finale?
Yeah, right after.
Yeah, man. That's just some shit be uncalled for. I think that was uncalled for. I don't mind them doing the comparisons as far as the breakdown. I feel like they was wrong as far as giving Mike being a better passer and probably better teammate. I personally would like to play for Mike, but I think just like an average kid would probably want to play for LeBron just because he, more passive aggressive, chill, laid back compared to grilling on your ass like Mike and Kobe. You feel me? But I think they were wrong for that, and I also thought they were wrong for off court. Me and you had a little debate about that, but I definitely love LeBron's off court contributions, and but yeah, I wasn't for the segment.
Yeah, I think we're at a different zone. I believe Bron's one of the best. Top 3 passers in the game in history, and the stats speak for themselves. I don't see why that was really even debatable. Second, when we talk about off the court. I think we had me, you, Jeff, a couple other people, only me really, that I look at off the court as far as how much have you done to help your communities, right? And I look at as far as your money. And so when I see, I think at this time in the career, LeBron has almost made as much money as Michael's whole life, right? Where he's at, if we don't count the end of 50 plus Michael. And he's donated $150 million to black communities only. And so I'm looking at that. I'm like, oh, he's really helping his people for me off the court, right? You look at LeBron, he's donated $30 million. Now, only $7 million of that dollars that went to black communities. He's donated Boys and Girls Club. He's donated to, I believe, Red Cross. Good organizations. But I was like, okay, you $30 million. Now, where you say, hey, Bron, he speaks on issues, and he made a school. The school costs $2 million, and that's one school. That's what I think only 300 kids go there. So it's like. When I look at that, I think that's what
giving them 300 opportunity to go to college, giving those 3. You feel me? I think that's a full scholarship fund, everything through there. We're not gonna argue on that point because they both doing their part.
Let's say this. Exactly. Let's just say this. They both doing amazing things that me and you hope to do one day in our life, right?
Definitely, especially for our people,
right?
Exactly. But one thing I will say with Mike when we was arguing about a little bit of the money factor earlier, I feel like Mike also got a little bit of a guilty conscience, man, for the damn governor race. Because like I said, that was the one thing I understood where Mike was coming from. Episode 2, 3, one of the earlier episodes in
I
the
don't.
doc, guys, when they explained why Mike didn't support the congressman in North Carolina running for governor, I want to say, or congressman, whatever. I said I definitely understood where Mike was coming from as far as protecting my brand, the name, Jordan. You feel me? I get that. When you in that position, you think about your pockets. You feel? I get that. But I just feel like as a young black man myself, and I feel like any black person, you feel me, in America would have just rather Mike spoke up and said something. Just like Obama said. Obama was interviewed for the documentary. He said the same thing. I just wish Mike would have at least came out and said something. But in turn, Mike did tell his mom, I'll give him some contributions to the campaign, which is fine. I just feel like after that, it's like, okay, but shit, your money, he lost. Why you didn't cut? I think if you would have came out and said something, it would have gave a bigger backing for the man. It probably would have won. Plus, he was going against an openly known racist and bigot versus I can't think of the man's name, but he was a known racist that was against black people. He was against Martin Luther King Day. Come on, Mike. I feel like you definitely should have stepped up and said something there, and he probably got a guilty conscience and been spending money ever
I
since.
100% agree. That's one thing I don't agree with. I don't see. I stick up for Mike as far as off the court stuff. But to me, to me that was worse than the gambling, the everything else. To me, it's like that is a known racist. It wasn't opinionated. That's a known racist, and you could have, like you said, he could have helped. Now, something I thought about the last couple of days, and I was talking about it with someone on Twitter, is we forget that we live in 2020, where it's like we have Nike commercials with Cat leading like a woke message. This was in 1990s, late 80s, so you couldn't speak out like that. I forget his name. His last name was Muhammad. Remember the basketball player before Cat? Once the
Yeah,
NFL
I
national
know you
anthem,
talking about.
he was
Yeah,
out the league in
he
the
from the
90s.
Bay. Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
from
I
the
know you
Bay.
talking about. Yeah,
We gotta find his name. I'm gonna find his name. Shout out
Muhammad.
to him.
I don't want to say it wrong, but I know exactly what you're talking about. He
Yeah,
played in the Big Three, the guard.
is his first name Ishmael? I could be
I don't
wrong.
know. He
Something like
played in
that,
the
bro.
Big Three, Ice Cube League. He
Yeah.
a baller though. He still get buckets to this day.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right, but he lost his job because he spoke out, and I think we forget that in this time period, you can't speak out on issues, and you could lose your job. And today's we seen Cap do it, right? But Cap, let's give you one. If you're a top player, you're not losing no job in today's world, right? If Tom Brady comes out and is an activist, it doesn't matter, right? LeBron has that power. And I was telling someone, LeBron has never lost a deal or anything. His money's never been affected by speaking out, by wearing the t-shirts. And it's funny because in the NFL, you have the option to come out for the anthem, sit, do whatever. In NBA, is in your contract, the agreement that you have to stand, right? But that's a whole nother story. I just think, I like to your point, I can't get over that with MJ, and I'm I think I think he looked the worst through the whole doc, and I'm glad he put that on there because to me that looked terrible out of everything. You know what I mean? So, what do you
I
have to
think he
hear?
knows that and he understands it. I think that's probably why he put it in there. That you feel me? Because
Yeah,
he didn't have to put that in there. They say he
I,
cut out a bunch of other shit.
no, I definitely. If you look like he was part of the reason that the African Americans, Smithsonian and DC got built. He led the initiative to build it. Put 8 million in it. Brown followed him. Put 2.5 in it. Got a whole bunch. Robert Smith, all the black
I think
guys
I remember when that came out.
donated,
It
man.
was
He
like
led that.
2015, something like. I think I remember when
Yep.
that came out. What I was going to tell you was how you feel about Phil Jackson throughout the doc. Or hold on, before Phil, no, before Phil, Zay. I was going to tell you. Did you see the story that had dropped about Horace Grant calling MJ a snitch? I was weak when I seen that shit. He called
I
him a
didn't see
snitch.
that.
He's also said Shannon Sharp has said that Grant came out and basically said they cut a lot of his shit out from the doc. As far as he basically got at Mike on the doc. He was like, "You Mike can see me, whatever." But I guess they cut that part because Mike had final say on the editing of the doc. But I just thought that shit was hilarious. He called Mike a snitch and said he wasn't the one that ratted out the Jordan rules to Sam Smith or whatnot. I thought that shit was hilarious.
But see, I'm be one. If I played with MJ, I couldn't be like mad at him. I won a ring. Like that's a fact, right? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously earlier in MJ days, I'm talking about when we started winning. And Horace Grant, he has a ring because of MJ. Like let's not forget that, Horace. So you talk all that big shit. You
yeah.
have rings. You can say you're a champion because of that man. Because when it was just you there, you already win shit. So no, my thing is, who was your favorite guest? For me, Gary Payton hands down. was my favorite
GP.
guest, and Isaiah was second.
I loved Mike's reaction to GP. What he say? He said, I ain't got no problem with the glove, man. I ain't got
Yeah.
no problem with the glove, man.
I like how he was talking that shit after he's like, yeah. So after game 3, I told Carl, I don't care what you say, I'm guarding Mike.
Yeah. You
That
know,
was
I
my
was
favorite. No,
damn. Yeah, he'd probably be my favorite too. Yeah, he'd probably be my favorite guest. You know what the hell
and
I was thinking though? What's up with Carl? Carl Malone, he got a lot more heart than me, B. Cause I'm not going into no man's locker room. No, I think Patrick Ewing did it a few times throughout the doc. I'm definitely not
all
going
them
on the
niggas that
bus
never won no
after you
ring.
just bust my ass. I'm not going on your bus shaking your hand after you just bust my ass in the finals. Is you for real? I think you lost back to back too, Carl. You gonna go on the bus and shake this man's hand? You crazy? Not me, not I give him, I give him
I,
his due on the court. But after that, man, come on, you
I
crazy?
like Pippen's line. He's like, the mail ain't delivered on Sundays.
Yeah. Come
Hey,
on,
that was so
man.
disrespectful. No, I mean, that's why Carl never won a ring. He had no dog. And I'm gonna put this out. I don't like Carl. It's proven. He had a baby with a 13-year-old.
I
Sick. I
seen
don't
that.
respect
Like
Carl.
crazy.
Get him off that.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact. Anyone go
No,
look
it's
it up.
fact. No,
Carl
that's a
Malone.
fact. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fact.
I had a baby with 13-year-old. He doesn't take care of the kid or nothing. Just bad
Buried it
dude.
most of his career. It was buried for most of his
Yeah.
career. I
That's why
think
he get
he
no
just
ring.
got out
That's
a
what you
couple years
get.
ago.
Yeah, that's what he get.
I
No
think him and
ring
Stockton was
Malone.
good enough. I think Mike was the factor why they didn't get one. He was in their way, but I think they were good enough to get one. That team was pretty good.
No, definitely. Anything else you want to add to the doc? I mean, it was just one of my favorite documentaries I ever watched. I'm gonna rewatch it once it come on Netflix. But I loved it.
No, I think that's everything for the Jordan doc.
All right, y'all. We appreciate everyone coming on the live. Oh, my sis on here. What's up, sis? Um, all right, then.
But let's finish up. What we got? What we got left here, Zay? We got 49ers Raiders talk.
Yeah,
Schedule
I just
talk.
took off. Oh, he just yeah, you stopped this one, right?
Yeah. Give us
All
one
right.
second.
Hey, he just hit me back. He said that works. We can go tomorrow.
For what?
Get him on the show, Trayvon.
Okay, all good. Yeah, give us one second, pod listeners. We were just collecting a few questions right there from a few Instagram live fans. They gave us a few questions to cover for the rest of the pod. But we'll start off with Raiders. Raiders schedule breakdown. You want to go first? You want me to go first, eh?
Yep. You go
You?
first.
Okay, I'll go first. No problem. For the Raiders, let's see here. Raiders. I got the Raiders going 10-6, slight improvement from last year. I see. I checked their schedule out. They play 4 teams from the year before that were in the playoffs. So solid schedule. Not too difficult as far as strength of schedule. Solid. I believe they go 10-6. I feel like this year might be the year they finally split with the Chiefs. So I got one loss to the Chiefs, one loss to the Broncos. I feel like you guys will sweep the Chargers. You guys has had the Chargers number the last few seasons. So I give you guys a sweep there. So a loss to the Broncos, a loss to the Chiefs. I got you guys losing to the Bucks. I got you guys losing to the Colts. You guys beat the Colts last year, but I'm very high on them this year. I was high on them last year as well. And I say you guys lose 2 of your first 4 games. And I believe it's versus the Panthers, Saints, Bucks, and another playoff team. I gotta pull it up. But your first 4 games was pretty tough, and I just felt like I seen you guys splitting. I definitely got you guys winning week 1 against the Panthers. But yeah, I got you guys with 6 losses on the season. 10-6, slight improvement from last year. What about you, Zach?
Okay. So I had the Raiders doing a little better. I got to finishing 11-5 this year, and with you, I believe we're gonna start with a bumpy start, right, to the season. We play the Saints, we got to play the Bills, the Bucks, and the Chiefs, right, in the
Patriots.
first 5 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
Patriots is
They
in
not
there
even say
too.
Pats. Y'all don't count them. It's a new new era. Hey, as long as unless Jarrett
Bills.
Stidham,
My bad, Zay. Y'all got the Bills up there too. That's who I got you guys
yeah,
possibly losing to. But go ahead, Zay. Sorry about that.
yeah. No, yeah. So I got them winning 11-5 with a slow start. I see them losing um, to the Chiefs twice this year. The Broncos won, divisional. They'll split that. The Bills and the Saints. So starting the season off, they might start off 2-3,
Hold on, run me your
right?
losses. Run me your 5 losses again, Zay.
They're going to lose to the Chiefs twice, Broncos
Okay.
one,
Mm-hmm.
Bills one, and Saints one. And obviously, I picked the Broncos as a loss. I believe finish the same record. They'll be pretty good. And divisional games, I believe, always just split when they're close teams.
So
Um,
you got
and
you
then what?
guys beating the Bucks, huh, Zay?
Yeah, I do. I do have us beating the Bucks. Last time Derek Carr went there, he threw the most. Last time he played the Bucks, threw the most yards. And this is how I look at it. I look at two things when I look at win-loss records for teams. I look at strength versus strength, and then who you added this year, right? So we're going to Saints, right? Their strengths, their offense, and they have a better defense than the Raiders. Their Raiders' strength is their offense as well. They're not going to win that. I believe the Bills' strength is their defense, but I believe their defense, a playoff team, it's going to be a close game with the Raiders. Now, when I looked at the Bucks game, I was saying, okay, the Bucks had to come all the way out here. They're playing in Vegas. The defense, the Bucks have not had a good defense since Gruden was there. Let's just put that out there. And I'm on the ship. Hey, Tom Brady is the best QB ever. Father Time is undefeated, and I'm always going to pick Father Time until he loses, and he never lost. So that's why I have the Raiders being the Bucks. Fun Sunday night game. And yeah, and that's simple. And then Broncos. And then I
What
don't
about?
I don't see the
Go
Raiders being
ahead,
the
Zay.
Chiefs.
Okay, don't see him being the
The
Chiefs
Chiefs are
this year.
just I think the Chiefs
Too
going to be
tough.
14-2, 15-1 type of year.
What I was gonna say, Zay, do you what about opening week? You guys got a W against the Panthers? You guys got to go to
Yeah, we're
Carolina.
gonna
What you
hell
see?
yeah, Matt, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna win that. The reason being new coach, you got to remember this offseason is different. So the new coach not seeing his players. He's not, he doesn't see his quarterback, none of that. So I see the Panthers as a 6-10 team this year. But I believe that's a W, and not a blowout, but just a nice 6 point win W.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys blow them out, even though it's the first week. It usually takes offenses a minute to get humming, but I definitely got you guys with a win. Carolina's instilling a new head coach, new quarterback, new culture. Lost their defensive leader last year in Luke Kuechly. Derek Carr has another year under his belt in Gruden's system. Loaded weapons, top five tight end, top O line, one of the top O lines, rookie of the year in the backfield. You guys just added some incredible speed with Ruggs out of the draft, and then you got Braylon Edwards. Is that his name? Braylon? No, it's not Braylon.
Brian,
Brendan?
no
Brian.
Brian,
Excuse me.
Brian.
Brian. Who's Braylon Edwards? That's an old receiver, huh? He used to
Yeah,
play
from
for
Michigan. He's at the
yeah, I
Browns.
remember. I got you. But yeah, I got you guys with a win over the Panthers to open the season up. Zay, who do you see as the Oakland Raiders' toughest matchup of the season?
Chiefs twice, man. We playing the best. I don't
Got
see
you.
it doesn't get any tougher than the Chiefs because the divisional battle that's already hard. The Chiefs could be the worst team in the league. Divisional battles are always hard. Um, and I don't. It comes down to this: the way you stop Pat Mahomes is pressure. The Raiders have not created consistent pressure since Khalil Mack's been there. So, and even with him, we had a terrible defense. So I don't see us being the Chiefs. I'm trying to be optimistic. I don't see how it happens. So Raider fans, I'm with y'all, but maybe next year, 2021.
Yeah, for me,
Who's
I
the
got you
toughest?
guys. The toughest matchup is definitely trying to fight and get a win off the Chiefs. I think you guys might catch them one time this year. But a sleeper game for me between you guys, I think, would definitely be the Bills game. I'm very high on the Bills. I love what Sean McDermott has brought over there, the culture he's instilled over there in Buffalo. Tough defense, one of my favorite defenses to watch last year. I hope they will repeat the same efforts. If Allen takes that next step, man, I think they can be on to something. They added an outside weapon in Diggs. I have Buffalo winning their divisions. Hey, what do you say about that matchup against Buffalo?
I mean, I can't disagree with that. That they already have a culture established. They have went to the playoffs. They're coming in a lot of momentum to this season, and we play them early in October, week 4. So it's going to be a tough game. And they're like I said, their defense is lights out, and the offense just got better, added weapons. So, like you said, I think that's going to be a tough loss. I think it's going to be a close loss. But that defense I think, could cause a lot of problems early for us in the season. We'll see. But let's dive into the Niners though. What we got for the Niners? How you feeling about them, D-Lane?
The Niners. Okay, so but the Niners for me
And,
it's
and,
kind
and
of
remember
funny.
how we're looking at the Niners. Remember,
Oh
are they good
yeah,
enough to win the Super Bowl this year? That's the
yeah,
goal.
yeah, yeah. For them, it's ironic because I have the Raiders and the 49ers. They both play each other this year, right, in the preseason.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be there.
Yeah, you got to get there.
Hopefully.
Um, yeah, it's ironic because I have both teams going 10-6.
Okay.
The Niners, I actually see going 10-6 with more of a struggle because I think that their strength of schedule is a bit tougher. They played 6 teams last year that were in the playoffs. I believe they split with everybody in their division. I believe they get an L from everybody in their division. They possibly can sweep the Rams, but I see them taking an L to everybody in their division at least once. I really like Arizona with Cliff and Kyle got brewing over there on offense with Hop. I definitely like what they got going. And Russ, come on, man, MVP talk damn near every year. He's considered up
Yeah.
there for the last few years. So you gotta give some weight towards Seattle. And then the Rams, they got a good coach, Sean McVay, losing some talent from the last previous years off the Super Bowl team, so they could possibly sweep them. But I got one loss to each team in the division. That's 3 losses. I said they losing my Eagles. They play Philly. Philly got to come there. I'm definitely trying to be at that game, and then they got to go at New England at the Saints. I feel like that's another 2 losses right there, and I'm iffy on the Cowboys game late in the year. They got to go to the Cowboys late in the year.
See, you said it right there. Late in the year to the Cowboys. That's a W for the Niners.
Yeah, you just never know. Them Cowgirls, they
Yeah.
always got scratch and claw for a win towards the end of the year, so they might still be playing for real. So yeah, that's why I say I'm iffy
Yeah.
on that one.
Okay. So you think they take a step back? They're gonna lose three less games.
3 more games, yeah. Last year they
You
went.
think
The
they'll take a
last year they
step
went
back?
10-3.
Like
Yeah,
lose
so
three less games?
yes, yep.
All right. Well, I got them same record as last year, 13-3. For me, they lose. I have the opposite. They're going to sweep the Rams. I believe the Rams are going to be a top 5 pick team next year. We're going to see the real Jared Goff with no talent on his team. Then obviously going to split against the Seahawks. I'm right with you. I believe Kyler is going to blow up this year. I believe a lot of people, hey, he's top 10. Um, so I believe they're going to lose against them. And then the Saints. The Saints was a close game last year. I think the Saints get the redemption back. And yeah, I'm excited
Who,
for the
who,
Niners
who,
this
who
year.
did you say was the second L, Zay?
Seahawks, Saints, Cardinals,
Okay.
and they're gonna go 13-3. I believe they're just as good as last year. And the question is, like, are they good enough to win a Super Bowl? The Raiders, their goal is the playoffs. They went 7-9 this year. They have to at least wild card. Ain't no way in hell they win that division. So wild card. And then we got 49ers, and they have to win a Super Bowl. Now the Seahawks are gonna be better, and I believe the Cardinals are gonna be better. But the rest of the NFC as a whole, the Packers, they whooped their ass last year. We got the Vikings. It's Kirk Cousins. So the only way that, to me, the Niners take a step back is Jimmy takes a step back, or if that running game's not hitting the same.
Okay. What about your opening week view? They gotta go. No, they're at home versus the New Look Cards. Who you got? Week 1.
They win that. They win that. Fired up off a Super Bowl loss. They win that. Um, I think they win that. I think they lose to the Cards later in the year when the
Okay.
Cards are vying for that wild card spot. So 7 teams get in now. So
Yeah.
those it's gonna
All
be
games count. Damn near. All games matter
yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's not over. It's not over till it's over this year. You
Yeah.
can't imagine that week 17 scenario thing going to be crazy. If this team lose and ties, and it's going to be crazy with the 17 playoff. But I'm ready. More playoff games for the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
have the Cardinals actually winning week 1. I believe they lose to
okay,
Kyler and company. I feel like the Cards had them in both games last year. The Niners are coming off the Super Bowl hangover. We're still questioning, can Jimmy take that next step? Do they have a clear cut number 1? Does Debo or IU take that step and become a clear number 1? The Cardinals added D-Hop, and the Niners still haven't addressed their biggest red flag, which is the secondary. So I see the Cardinals coming out and getting a week 1 win versus the Niners.
that's a good point about their secondary. And it's funny. It doesn't really make a lot of sense if you think about it. They lost the game because of their secondary.
Man,
Richard Sherman gave up the big play to Sammy Watkins, and then the 3rd and 15. And
yeah.
they say, hey, we're good with our corners. And what's even more surprising is Richard Sherman, I believe, will be 33 next year, right? And we
Mm.
know corners in the league, after you're like kind of like a running back. Once you hit that 30, hey, you got a couple years left of your elite.
Mm.
Do you think You think Richard Sherman's gonna have the same year? Because if he got beat on deep routes last year in the playoffs, wouldn't you assume? I mean, he's not gonna be faster at age 33, right?
Yeah, I should be getting smarter, if anything. You know, they say fine wine, yeah, you age and time.
He's
But
32. He's
he,
32.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rich take that switch to safety in the next couple upcoming seasons. He's gonna have to eventually because he is definitely losing a step. Um, Top 15. I see him being a top 15 corner next year. He was like top 5, I think, last year, maybe number 1. He was up there last year, at least according to Pro Football Focus. I
Yep.
see him being at least a top 15 corner this year. I think he can still get it done, but he will definitely look like a step slower. I think he loses another step.
Yeah, I like what you said about the safety. I think he has the ball skills to play safety, and only the
Definitely.
greats have been able to make that switch to safety.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, um,
Yeah.
Ty Law. I mean, the greats. So we'll see. I just think they're going to be slow on their back end. Their back end is slow, and they did not address that. Now you have to remember the GM is John Lynch. He's a slow safety, so he probably, hey, I got smart players on the back end. I don't need too much speed. So we'll see. We'll see going into the season. Is there any game? Who do you think is going to be the toughest matchup for them this year?
For me, again, damn. I didn't know I did this for the Raiders and the Niners. I got them with both the same schedule. I guess tough matchup for the Raiders. I had the Chiefs, but I also feel like the Bills. But for the Niners, it's the Bills. They have a late game match, a late game matchup with the Bills late in the season, and I can see them struggling. Defense, strength on strength, good defense. They love to run the ball. The Bills are stout with that run defense. Ed Oliver and the crew up there. Yeah, I definitely see that Bills matchup being very tough.
Yeah, and they might. I'd be like, I say it like this. I can see the Bills in the AFC Championship next year. Um, just while on the Bills, tough matchup. They're gonna win that division unless the only team I can see threatening them is a Bill pull something out of his ass, or Tua and the Dolphins got it humming. But I don't see that with the shortened off season. So the Bills gonna be a fun team. We might see Bills Chiefs in the AFC Championship next year.
Man,
All right, let's get into our questions though, real quick. I love the schedules. Raiders, Niners. Me and D-Lane are both predicting to make the playoffs. D-Lane has thinks they're gonna take a step back. Raiders step up.
both
Excited for the
teams going
season.
10-6, and what you got? Both teams going.
I got Raiders going 11-5, big jump, and Niners same thing, 13-3 this last year.
Okay, okay.
So we had great questions on IG. So we want to run through a couple of those. Start with the first one. D Lane, do you think Lamar Jackson takes the next step as a thrower this coming season with the Ravens?
Yes, I do believe so. That he takes that next step for the team to help get them over that playoff hump. I believe he took it last year. If you really watched the playoff game last year, Lamar, it was the turnovers, and that's what they didn't do all season was turn the ball over. I think he had like 6 turnovers on the whole season, and I believe in the playoff game he had half of that. I think he had 3. You take away those turnovers, they fought hard and came back late in that game in the playoff game last year, and Lamar started really letting it loose. He could throw the ball, man. I think he definitely can get it done. They add the kid from Ohio State, J.K. Dobbins, I believe is his name. I'm really high on him, so the run game should take another step. And yeah, I definitely see the Ravens being a factor next year. I would love to see a Lamar versus Pat Mahomes AFC championship matchup. I would love to see that. All the marbles on the line to get to the Super Bowl. But yes, I do believe Lamar takes another step, and hopefully he can get past his playoff woes next season and get the playoff win.
I'm right there with you. I don't think he takes the next step as a thrower. As far as, hey, you're gonna see now Lamar completed over 60% of his passes last year. Really a lot of high percentage throws, and his accuracy did improve from year one. But I think Lamar takes a step as just an overall quarterback. To your point, smarter as far as less turnovers. Lamar's already a great leader, so I think he just grows into even a better leader. Just more control of the offense. Now he understands fully, like, hey, this is our offense. This is what we're trying to do, and they equip me with all the right weapons. We got running backs, we got tight ends, we're deep at receivers, so and the defense is ready to go. So I do think he gets over that playoff hump of winning his first playoff game, and I can't believe we're saying this already in year three. But it shows when you go to a great organization, you can win fast, and that's what Lamar's doing. So I'm happy for him, rooting for him, and I think he takes that next step as a quarterback. I don't know about the accuracy because I look at it like shooters. You can shoot, but you'll never be a Steph Curry. Now if you can't, you're not the most accurate quarterback. You're not going to be Tom, but you can work towards being the most accurate quarterback. Um, but I like your take though. Let's Next is a question I know you like to answer. How do the Eagles manage Jalen Hurts along with Carson Wentz? What's your thoughts?
Ooh, spicy. At least according to everybody else outside of the Philadelphia mainstream media. They considered it a quarterback battle competition off the gate. I did not see it that way when I seen us take the draft pick. When I seen us make the selection, I just instantly thought it was a insurance policy. Wentz has been hurt. He's finished the last 3 seasons hurt, I believe. I'm high on Wentz. I love the kid. I think he's our franchise guy. But we won the Super Bowl and good team. We won the Super Bowl along to go with other good teams every year. Has backups. They have guys that can step up and take over the reins and keep playing. That's why we won the Super Bowl. We lost Nick Foles. We didn't have a solid backup last year. Josh McCown did actually not too bad to keep us fighting in that playoff game last year against Seattle, but he wasn't really what we needed. Jalen Hurts, I definitely can see that. I definitely see us using him as a Taysom Hill type piece like the Saints do with Drew Brees and Hill, but not off the gate. I see us, kind of having him in the shack. He probably would be QB3 to be honest. He might come on run the ball a little bit, but I definitely don't see him being the backup or probably that passer guy right away because I definitely see Doug and the rest of the crew working with him and trying to develop him as a passer. Jalen Hurts. I think that's the plan moving forward with Jalen.
Yeah, see, uh, I'm kind of on the same page. I think Jalen Hurts is they drafted him to be that backup quarterback. In the league, you have to have a backup because it's just like you have a superstar in the NBA. If he goes down, the season's over. So I think Jalen comes in, can be that backup. He doesn't have to rush in, and he's a smart, great team leader, and that's a player you want on your team. And also, I don't think he'll take one snap to like a Taysom Hill type of player. It might have Doug's creative. He might be out there on the play to hey, all right, they have to use Hurts. If you look at you have to realize where these guys come from. Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, even Frank Reich, because he learned under Doug Peterson, all come from Andy Reid. Andy Reid believes you never take your best player off the field, which is your quarterback. So I don't see them using that Taysom Hill, and I think it's just it's a cool word to say because the Saints did it, but outside of that, it's not too many teams that bring that in, and even the Saints. Why? Everyone talks about Taysom Hill. Well, the Saints lost in round one in the playoffs, so it's not like Niners or Chiefs were doing that to win the Super Bowl. I think it's great backup quarterback pick and nothing more than that. And Wentz, like you said, Wentz has been hurt. I think Wentz is going to have that Ben Roethlisberger type of career. He gives him a couple rings, but he misses some time through his career. So we'll see. But I'm excited for Hurts and Wentz. I think it's a good pick. Now, the question that I know everyone been waiting for, and it's real simple: do the Cowboys make the playoffs this year?
Hell no. No, I don't know. Me personally, I'll say no, but I think they can possibly squeak in on one of those wild card spots. It's an added wild card spot now. Are those rules taking effect? I thought I seen something that said the 17 game schedule will be implemented next season, but the added playoff team will be added this year. I don't know if I read that right though, Zay.
I couldn't. I thought it was this year. I could be wrong.
Try to pull it up
I don't
anyway
know
while I
anything.
talk about this. But
Yeah.
try to pull it up while I talk about. But this year for the Cowboys, no, hell no. They're instilling a new coach. Excuse me. They're instilling a new coach, a new culture, a new system. They're bringing back the same OC, so that should help. But they have quarterback controversy. They don't know what they're going to do as far as with Dak extending them long term. Hell, if I'm Dak, I'll probably try to sit out a few weeks just to make their ass feel it. But they do have a backup in Andy Dalton who can possibly get it still done. He's a solid backup. I did like that move when the Cowboys picked up Andy. But no, the NFC's too loaded. I have my Eagles winning the division, so They're not going to be a division champ, so I don't see a way the Cowboys get in the playoffs. Maybe possibly squeaking into that new added playoff spot if that's implemented for this season. I'm not sure.
It is. I just looked it up. So it'll be implemented this year. It showed that if this playoff system was in place last year, the Steelers and the Rams would have been the extra teams in the playoffs. So it's
Okay.
exciting. What I think the Cowboys do make the playoffs in the wild card, partly due the Giants and Redskins are going to be terrible. I believe those are free wins for the Eagles and the Cowboys. I believe the NFC is loaded. But like with that extra playoff spot next year, I think they sneak in because they got 4 wins just off the bat with in their division with the Giants and the Redskins. They don't have a hard schedule at all. They have yeah, I think they win. They go 9-7, make the playoffs. But this is my concern if they don't. New coach that's been like this is a problem. A new coach that couldn't work with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron said thought he's running basic plays. So if you couldn't have it work with Aaron Rodgers, I'm supposed to believe after a year you can make it work with Dak Prescott. Now the
Man,
offense is loaded: Lamb, Cooper, and Galloway. But let's not forget their defense. They lost almost all their players on defense. The linebacker, the white guy, number 55, Van S. He might not ever play football again. Broke his neck. So they legit have Jalen Smith, who finished terrible last year, and Demarcus Lawrence. So they're hoping their offense, Demarcus Lawrence and their offense keeps it humming next year. So I'm not too sure on the coach. That's the reason I don't think they'll make the playoffs if they don't. So we'll see. We're about to wrap it up. Our last 2 questions. Does Baker Mayfield show he's a franchise QB this year? I believe it's a make or break year. What do you think, Dylan?
Baker. No, I'm not.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
not. I'm not with it. And I'm actually a Baker fan, but I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm not with the notion that he shows he's a franchise quarterback this year. Just because I need to see it if Odell's all in. I heard humming about Odell. Oh, this is my comeback year. It's gonna be my best season ever. But I still don't know if he really wants to be in Cleveland, play for Cleveland. It was apparent last year when you watched the games that you could just tell he just wasn't there mentally. He wasn't checked in all the time. Wasn't running hard routes all the time for Baker. I don't know how their chemistry is, but yeah, if that's gonna be your number one guy and you're not on the same page with your number one guy, I just don't understand or can see a way that you have a successful season. I mean, of course, there's other ways because Landry Juice is a solid guy. He still have a dominant. You have the leading rusher. Well, no, was it Henry or Nick Chubb? I think he was second last year in
Top
rushing.
three.
Yeah, top three. Still got that guy back there with the kid from Kansas City that they got, Kareem Hunt. He's still there. So I the Browns should have been a running team the last 3 seasons. Why not be a running team this year? Finally commit,
Yeah,
actually commit. Do you know how they should play? They should play almost like the Vikings, man. Pound that damn rock, hit that extra play action over the top with Juice and Odell. That's what the Vikings been doing the last 2-3 seasons with Cook, Diggs, and Thielen.
I think that's a great point. I think with Freddie Kitchens last year, he wanted to be too cute, too sexy with everything. Let's light it up. We got all these offensive weapons. He was never a head coach before. Now the year before, he's a first-time coordinator, so he didn't know how to handle all those weapons and have an offense. And I think they do run the ball. They're going to run the ball like the Vikings. And the new coach that came from the Vikings is like, hey, we're going to run the ball with a high percentage throws for you, Baker. And this is why things happens. I think Baker tricks the Browns into him being a franchise QB. When I say trick, I
They're
mean
gonna
he's going to look
resign
way
him.
better this year. Yes, he's going to have less turnovers. Outside of the Ravens, I mean that division's up for grabs for that second spot or fighting a wild card because Steelers, they're iffy quarterback situation still, and it's the Bengals. Come on now.
Yeah.
So I think Baker has a chance if they make the playoffs or sneak in or 8-8, 9-7. And I mean, with the talent, they shouldn't be 8-8. But if they're 9-7, make the playoffs, and Baker just lowers his turnovers, he's going to be there because they haven't had a QB. I mean, my whole life. So I think that's what happens, and I think they're going to look like a better team, and it's not going to be through Baker. It's going to be through a better overall team playing well. But we'll see. I've never been a Baker fan. Dude, I don't like short quarterbacks, one. And two, I don't like overachiever quarterbacks. I like my quarterbacks to be blue chip. I don't like walk-ons. I don't like transfers because I don't like that. Same reason I don't like Joe Burrow. Now, he's a blue chip 5-star, but I didn't like how he couldn't beat out people at Ohio State. So I've never been sold on Baker. He'll surprise me if he has a winning record this year. Now, the opposite, the GOAT, is Tom Brady at age 43. Is this the year Father Time wins? What's your thoughts?
As bad as I want to say yes, as bad as I want to say yes, because we all know it's ticking. It's
Yeah.
undefeated still. Tom's defeated some time so far, but we understand Father Time still undefeated. But man, if you look at this man's weapons, oh my God, he's 3 deep at tight end. How the hell are you 3 deep at tight end with 3 true number 1 tight ends? Gronk, Brait, OJ Howard. OJ hasn't lived up to his actual physical attributes, but
Yeah, you count
number
that,
1
man.
talent. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Mike Ev, oh my God, on the outside with Godwin. Oh man, one of the better offensive minds in football, Bruce Arians. I just don't
Yeah.
see how he doesn't put up some type of good numbers, like real good numbers. Better, his shit will look way better than last year. We know that for a fact. Yeah, Brady, man, I say he defeats it for like a year and a half, just because of the weapons and the place that situation. He's in Florida, warm weather, good for your bones as you get older. I give him a good year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay, I like that. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I like your point. There's so many things going for Tom, from Bruce Arians to the weapons to the running game to him being in warm weather. He can sling it loose. There's so many things going for him. And I look back, I'm like, all right, he's the GOAT, all right, greatest quarterback ever to play the game. And I was trying to think of other GOATs that played the game, and it made me think of Jerry Rice. And Jerry Rice retired at, 42, I believe? 42, that's correct. He retired at 42.
Oh,
His
that's had a
last
100,
year,
100-yard game too. His last year with Seattle, one game, like week 12. I remember that.
yeah. So, excuse me, his last year with the Raiders, he was 41. And he had 869 yards. At age 40, he had 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. At age 40. So if a wide receiver in the National Football League at age 40 can have 1,200 yards, I thought about Tom. Quarterbacks always play way longer than any other position outside of kicker. So I believe Tom it will play to 45. I think he's going to keep kicking everyone's ass the next 2 years. And I think he'll take a small dip as far as what dip is how he handles pressure, because that body won't be able to handle pressure and the sacks and the beating the same. And the only way Tom could fail is that O line not hold up. And let's not forget that O line has his work cut out for him in that division with the Saints, their pass rushers with Cameron Jordan, the Panthers, and the Falcons. I mean, they ain't too much on defense, but that O line's going to have to hold up. So I believe Brady keeps doing what he's doing, and at 45 he retires or we see that dip. So I'm giving him an extra 2-3 years more than Jerry, because man, 40 years old, you get 1,200 yards in the NFL. That's man.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
something.
I compare, they're the goats, right? So every goat we've seen, they played long. I mean, MJ was playing long. I mean, LeBron's going to play late. I mean, he's going to definitely play in his 40s the way he's looking right now. So I see no reason why a quarterback doesn't keep playing at a high level.
Yeah,
Anything
definitely.
anything else you want to add in there, D Lane? I'm ready for
Nah,
football.
man.
I know
I think
about
we had
you.
a good one. Yeah, I'm ready for it to start. Man, you spoke earlier about the possible impact that Corona can have on the start of the season, at least NFL wise. It looks like it's on par to open up on time. But as far as college and high school, so one of my high school buddies, high school coaching buddies, he's actually telling me that his school is telling them December. And that when I told him, I was like, "Well, damn, man, what about your dual sport athletes? The guys that play basketball. Basketball season usually starts in October, November. Won't that fuck things off for them?" And he's like, "Man, they're trying to push back all sports right now." So, yeah, I just don't know, man. This shit is this pandemic is crazy. It's really crazy. And then on the college level, you got some conferences and some schools within the conferences are willing to play and some aren't. How would you feel, Zay, right now if you was a college player and they're telling you to play? Because I don't know, I feel some way if why we gotta be on campus, but the rest of the kids ain't gotta be on campus. Ain't like we getting paid for
Yeah,
this shit. Not yet.
yeah, no, I'll be honest. I'm doing whatever I can to play. I would just pretty much look at the data. If you go to data.org, it says a 93% world recovery rate. There's been a total of 25 people in the world to die from corona under the age of 30. So if I see that, I'm like, hey, I mean, every year, sadly enough, we got 5 to 6 kids that drop dead from a heart attack at practice, right? From that's just football alone, right? Those hot
Yeah.
double days. So I'm an athlete. Hey, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go. I've been in the house, man. I came here to play. I'm a young. I only have so many years I can play. You know what I mean? And especially if you're thinking about if you're at college. Hey, I'm trying to go to the league. I'm supposed to be in the league next year, and this is throwing. Like, think about it, if you don't start college or things are delayed, so you're not going to get drafted. Like, there's a lot of complications. I think we're getting a clear head. Governor Gavin Newsom announced June 1st that all sports will open up, professional sports in the state. So I'm thinking July, August, we'll be back to closing to normal. I think the high school level would do similar. I think it'll take the most precautions due to its kids. So even though they're the least, have the least chance of getting sick or dying from this virus, they're still kids. And you have to take all precautions. So I think they'll do no fans for a while for high school. College, they show colleges will go bankrupt without football this year. A lot of them. I think this will also be the time you see a lot of colleges, smaller schools, the D1 AA's, D2s. We're just going to cut our program altogether. It's an easy way to do. I think that's
Mm,
sad, but we will see that soon.
mm.
So,
Yeah, I
but
definitely.
yeah, I'm
They
just ready
better give them
for
players
shoot
their
games, no
year
fans or
back,
not.
man. They better give them players their years back, man. Especially on the college level.
No, even high
They
school,
better
man.
get.
Think about all right, me and you, we've had opportunity to play college and football, and that helped us get to college. So it's high school matters too, man. Like even if
Yeah,
that high school is important. A lot of kids only go to college because of their sport, whether it be football, basketball, and as you know, college opens a lot of doors. So I think it's gonna
definitely.
because think about it, in college, 1% have a chance of making it in the league, but it's about 5 to 10% of kids who are going to use this sport to take them to college, right?
Yeah.
So it's sad overall. All the kids getting impacted. And before I end this pod, I want to give a big shout out to the class of 2020 for high school and college. No graduation, but the work is done. That degree is real. So congrats to them.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Yeah, well, we got merch. Me and Zay definitely gonna sit down together soon, plan out the new merch for you guys. We still got Last Chance You with Laney that's dropping in July, and guests, bunch of guests, man.
Yep.
They got a
We
big
got
one for you guys
Trayvon.
coming on soon.
Yeah, I'll give y'all a little sneak preview. Trayvon Henderson from Sacramento went to Grant High, currently playing for the Bengals. So we're gonna have him on and talk ball.
Yeah, man. Just remember, guys, to subscribe to the pod on our YouTube channel at the 510 Huddle Podcast, and follow us on Twitter at the 510H, and me and Isaiah Walters on Twitter and Instagram at Coach D Lane for me, and at Isaiah Walters for Mr. Walters here. And one last quick little nugget right here is that I just pulled up that I just seen while I was scrolling through the timeline on Twitter to kind of just put a little icing on the cake for the GOAT debate between LeBron. We already know it's no debate, but here is 20 Hall of Famers Michael Jordan eliminated from the Hall of Fame. Charles Barkley, Divac, however the hell you say his name, Clyde the Glide, Joe Dumars, Patrick Ewing, Magic Johnson, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, Alonzo Mourning, Chris Mullin, Mutombo, Shaq, Robert Parrish, GP, The Glove, Dennis Rodman, Jack Sigma. I don't know who the hell that is. I did not know he's a Hall of Famer. We're going to have to pull his resume up. John Stockton,
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, Dominique Wilkins, James Worthy. GOAT.
Hey, you know what's crazy? LeBron's list gonna be Dirk and KD,
That's
and,
it.
and KD beat him again. He can't even count that. He beat 21-year-old KD.
You can't count Dirk.
And
Dirk
lost.
knocked him out.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I didn't mean. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
Dirk
right.
beat
Because,
him. He
what I
beat.
just read you was the guys that Mike knocked out of the playoffs. The Hall of Famers he knocked
Yeah,
out.
yeah. What? First of all, during LeBron's time in the East, like
Trash.
his prime, yeah, who was a Hall of Famer? Like DeRozan was fucking the leader in the Raptors and shit.
Yeah.
We go on a long spiel on this. We'll save it for next episode. But yeah, MJ is
Thank
the
you for your
GOAT.
ear, everybody. We appreciate you. Stay
There we go.
safe. Wash your hands and wear your mask.
There we go.
All right.
Still went for it. It's time to change the club.